Hi and welcome. My name is Benoit, and as always, thank you for watching. Okay, so since this whole thing is about my book series, The Cyborg Crusade, I thought it'd be a good idea to, talk about it. So what is The Cyborg Crusade anyway? It's the writing project that's been consuming my life for over 15 years now. Yeah, I'm a slow writer. But to be fair, it's a massive project filled with details. And whenever something in the plan changes, I have to review everything that came before, and that didn't help progress. But now, at last, everything is outlined and almost everything is drafted. So big changes should be over, hopefully. Anyway, I've always enjoyed sci-fi TV shows, things like Star Trek: The Next Generation, Deep Space Nine, Babylon 5, Battlestar Galactica 2004, the various Stargate series, that kind of stuff. The reason I like them is because I love sci-fi in general, but it's also because, they focused a lot on characters, and because you have a lot of episodes in those shows, so they have plenty of length and time to do a lot with those characters. And I also like, how they often tackle moral dilemmas that aren't just black and white, but rather they have shades of grays. Of those shows, I especially like, the one that uses a more serialized approach, like Battlestar and Babylon 5. Each episode tell their own story, and they feel complete, except maybe for two-parters, but at the same time, there's an overarching plot, and when you put each episodes together, they form another bigger story. So with the Cyborg Crusade, I decided I wanted to try, a similar approach, except in book form. Basically, each episode is like a novella with the same settings and characters. They each tell their own story, and yet they're all interconnected. Each book consists of three novellas, and that gives them, a novel-sized length. Because I didn't want to sell individual episodes because I feel that's too short and kind of a ripoff. Anyway, one thing to note is that even though the cast is shared among all the books, individual episodes focuses more on different characters. You could say the main character changes from episode to episode. Think of Star Trek: The Next Generation as an example. Sometimes you'd get a Picard episode, other times a Geordi episode, or maybe a Data episode. It's the same idea for the Cyborg Crusade. One big difference between the show I mentioned above and the Cyborg Crusade is that they tend to be space operas. They take place on spaceship or space stations, or at least space is involved in some to some degree. That's a lot of repeated space, but anyway, I like space operas, of course, but I felt like going in a slightly different direction. So my setting is a fictional planet, and there is no space travel or aliens. There are mutants, but I'm getting ahead of myself. This planet is basically a post-apocalyptic world. There was a war and it ravaged society, and it brought the people to the brink of extinction. But the worst has passed since then. Things aren't great yet, but has rebuilt itself and is progressing. But the risk of repeating the mistakes of the past are ever present, and they increase every day. The Cyborg Crusade is a massive project. I've started writing it 15 years ago in 2009. If we count the pre-production period before I started writing, that brings us to 2006. All this time I've been developing the characters, tweaking the story, detailing the worlds, all that good stuff. Part of the reason why it's taking so long is the scope of the project. The other is that obviously I'm not writing full time. I have a real job. I mean, I couldn't survive as a writer without publishing anything for 15 years, so I don't have much of a choice, do I? At last, though, I started publishing about a year ago. There's four books out at the time of recording, and a fifth one's on the way. But that's just the beginning. I expect by the time it's over, there'll be more than 15 books in total. That's assuming I can finish. You see, the editing fees are very high, and making money selling book is, let's just say I'm wondering if winning the lottery is a better strategy. But I do hope I can finish it because while not many people read my books, the reception from those who did has been great. You can see some review quotes on the screen right now. But as much as I want to keep going, my budget's almost gone. But hey, we'll see. You never know, right? Really, I'm happy with how things went. For a long time, I didn't even consider publishing the Cyborg Crusade, and mostly I did it for self-growth. You see, I'm a rather shy and anxious guy. I don't meddle a lot with things. I tend to spend my life in the background. Uh, a few years ago, I wouldn't have considered making videos, and 5 years ago, I would have rather died than making videos. Now I'm making some, and they might not be great, but I'm not dead. So the idea of publishing the Cyborg Crusade and risking having someone read it was terrifying to me. That's why I ended up publishing, because it felt like something to overcome, and that goal is accomplished now. So if that I have to end the series soon, that's fine with me. Except there's some people out there who enjoy my books. There aren't many, not yet anyway, but they're there, and it's really sucked to leave them hanging without a proper conclusion. So I'll give it my best shot. I'll see what I can do, and hopefully I can figure something out. Alright, that should give you an idea of what I'm trying to accomplish. Let's finish with a brief overview of the basic plot of the Cyborg Crusades. Things start with James Hunter, a young man who's about to have a very bad day. While he's heading to a date with his girlfriend, James suddenly teleports to another world with no explanation. The people there are rather surprised by this, much like James, to be honest. And when it's revealed that James is from Earth, they panic and they grow very hostile, as if they know who humans are and they aren't fond of them. Fortunately for James, a lone ally presents herself, a winged woman named Rose. Though James at first believes her to be an angel, she denies this. Rose has an important role in Nerevia, the country where James appeared. Under her position, she protects him and offers him a home. But things become more complicated when the disfigured cyborgs contact James. He turns out to be the president of Ostark, a country currently stuck in a cold war with Nerevia. The president warns James that Rose isn't what she seems to be and that he's in danger. Though at first James dismissed this warning, he soon notices strange occurrences concerning Rose and wonders whether he can really trust her. That's a very limited overview, but hopefully you find it intriguing. There's a lot more going on with the world of Yarnivia and a lot more characters too. We'll explore some of those aspects in more detail in later videos, between non-related to Cyborg Crusade content. If you're interested, I do have a website that gives a lot of info on the Cyborg Crusade and the cast. There you can also join the fan club, which will give you a free copy of the first ebook, an exclusive prequel show story, and my eternal gratitude. The gratitude's wordless, but the rest is pretty neat. The link to the site is in the description. Well, that's it for this video. Do you want to encourage me? Discourage me? Just talk in general? Then leave a comment down below. Please also like or dislike, and if you enjoy my content, consider subscribing and clicking the bell just in case it actually does something. I've heard it doesn't. Oh, and whatever you feel about this video, please don't let it ruin your day. It's sure as hell not worth it.